I've been umming and ahhing whether to say this and talk to you about this. Coming to you now from St. Lucia. I arrived over a week ago and I want to, you lot know I've been coming to St. Lucia for quite a while, and I know I want to touch a bit on the trends of spring, even though, you know, I'm already over here in St. Lucia, but you know, it's fine. So once, God, I'm already making a mess of my makeup. I'm actually putting orange concealer on, and I always put this color corrector on, for my Homer Simpson beard, I call it, because I'm always darker in this area, and it's just like an area of like, that's very common with a lot of black girls, where you just have a darker area here, and if I just put concealer over it, it doesn't work. By the way, I forgot my foundation, and whenever you put like a foundation or a concealer over this area, it without color corrector, it just stays dark. So the color corrector helps to cancel that out so it doesn't. So yes, I'm talking to you from St. Lucia, and I know that I was actually here. This feels like a back-to-back, almost a slow back-to-back trip, because I was literally in St. Lucia, wasn't I, in end of January, and I'm back again, and it's what, March? So if you're asking, why am I back so soon? Well, it's a couple of reasons. One is because we have friends who've never been to St. Lucia, and they were able to come, you know, this particular month. So we have timed it so that we wanted to come back with them, because we're the ones who've been talking about St. Lucia, and you know, we wanted to be here when they are here. And it's a very funny story. These friends, they used to live in Paris, so they're Parisians, and they have recently moved to Washington, DC. I'm literally using a concealer as my foundation all the way over. I'm just dotting and spreading it out. And I've been doing that, you know, whenever I feel like I want to use makeup on my face. Usually I don't, I go makeup free, but because I'm on camera and stuff like that, I'm going to wear makeup, plus I'm going to do a little bit of a shoot later, so that's why. But usually I just go makeup free. So you see what I mean? How when you put on the concealer, it cancels out the darkness. This area here, like where your moustache and a beard would be, I would be dark there. But you can see it's basically all one color. That's what this concealer does. It's just the best. I've been using this for at least, I feel like it's 10 years now. Still going strong, so love to use. Yes, so the couple are coming soon. Actually, the day of this video being recorded, they're coming tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing them. This is the Kosas setting powder. I've raved about this. It is so good. Look, I'm just putting it on one side. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this is just on one side. That's one side, and that's not done. It's so good. It leaves such a good difference. I love it. It doesn't cake. It doesn't create fine lines or emphasize lines. It does the opposite, actually. And I usually put a little bit here and a bit here just to blot out, because that's where I get shiny, in between my eyebrows and then on the sides of my nose there. It's just the best. It comes in different hues. I have the peachy color, that's it. But it comes in like a pinky color as well. It's the best. Screw it. I don't feel like bronzer today. I'm just going to go in. Actually, I should shape my face just a little bit. It looks like it needs it a little bit. I'm going to use this is the Giorgio Armani. This is the Cheek and Eye tint. It's a beautiful baby pink color. I'm just going to use it as a cream. I'm going to use my fingers. Everything I bring with me is kind of finger friendly. I just carried whatever will fit in here. And I always just go very high up. Kind of lifts the face when I do that, and I just kind of use the residual kind of around this area. It's almost like a C-sweep action. Sorry, the phone is blinking like that. Yeah, I love it. And sometimes I put a little bit up here, but not too much, because I'm going to have my scarf, so you're not really going to see it. But it gives a nice warm glow from within, pinky hue. You probably can't even see it, but I love it. Oh, it's so good. So let me tell you about these friends. Sorry, I'm waffling. I will get to the next room in a minute, but I'm just doing my makeup, and I thought I'll just chat with you since I'm doing it. The couple who were here, we met them during the, the COB time, and we met them, and in a random moment in the pharmacy, that's when everyone was wearing masks. And I remember the husband, because it's a couple, married couple, he came up to us and we were all wearing masks. I was wearing a mask, Michael was wearing a mask, he was wearing a mask. And he said, excuse me, I don't mean to trouble you, but my wife is a fan and she follows you, but she's too embarrassed to come up and say hi. And we just literally just started getting to know each other and talk to each other from there, and it snowballed into a friendship. Okay, so I'm just going to finish with some blue on the eyes because I just feel like it. This is the first time I'm wearing mascara since I've been in St. Lucia, by the way. This is the Sephora brand one, and it's so good because it's just really electric-y blue. And with my brown eyes, I love that combination, which you already know, blues and browns. I've told you about that. It's one of my fail-safes that always look good together. They just work really well. So I've used liner only on the lower lash line in that same blue. I'm not sure if you can see it there. And I'm using the mascara on the top and lower lash line. And that's going to be the whole look. And I promise you, I'm going to go into the next room so we can talk about what you actually came to see in this video. But I just wanted to just do my makeup with you from where I am. So I thought, why not? It's a nice moment to start the chit chat anyway, which I might as well just start from now, sod it, which is going to be about spring, summer trends, predictions of what I think is going to be coming up for this year. I did one recently, but this one is really going to be focused on spring, because I feel like we're already in it right now. And coming from St. Lucia I am, where I'm wearing very warm, friendly clothing, it just feels really appropriate. And one of them I'm going to start with is what I'm doing, which is makeup. And I think for this year, I honestly can see a little bit more of an experimentation in the makeup, because I feel like gone are the days where you just do black liquid liner and maybe a red lip. I think there's going to be, for this spring, there's going to be, and I can't say because I don't have a crystal ball, but when I think about the fall, when just past fall and going to the spring summer shows, which is this year, 2025, although I know that models' makeup is always very directional, I think that you're going to see a leaning more into that, trickle down and diluted in some form or another in the high street. I love that look. Look at that. It's so pretty. And then for the highlighter that you may or may not be able to see on my cheekbones, it is this incredible, what I call cheekbones in a bottle or tube, which is the L'Oreal Lumi. And I'll let you know the exact color that I have. It's the most beautiful sheen on the cheekbones. I put it really high up on both sides and I just love it. Gone are the days of just wearing matte, I think, on the face. Really leaning into that return of, very natural skin-like makeup on the face. Anything that looks the most sort of, in terms of the texture and the finish on your face. Any kind of foundations, tinted moisturizers, tinted foundations, anything that has a very, like I said, a very skin-like finish and look to it. I think you're just going to see more of that for this particular season, because I just think it's an overall direction that I think the beauty industry and women in general and guys are going into. Everyone wants to have that look of it feeling not just natural, but very skin-like. So even if you're wearing makeup that's much more going out, so you're wearing more, it still has a base that feels very, very natural looking, and it has a beautiful replicated sheen on specific parts of your face that feels the most flattering. That is something I'm going to think we're going to see way more of in 2025. And Pat McGrath doing that show collaboration with John Galliano for Maison Margiela, where you saw that glass skin from the models. I think that is almost a diluted version of what you're going to be seeing for this year. Okay, so I'm in the living room now. Hi. So let me just clear this away. So this is our Airbnb, by the way. I think I've mentioned this before, but some of you still ask. But we usually stay, in fact, we always just stay at our home. So this is our second home in St. Lucia. It's an Airbnb. We have two Airbnbs, two separate apartments. This is the downstairs and the other one is actually upstairs, completely separate front doors. I'm actually thinking of doing a tour. So let me know if you'd like me to do that. I'm thinking about just showing you all the rooms, just the kitchen, just how it looked before, because it was nothing like it looks like right now. There's a horror story attached to how this used to be before it became an Airbnb. And I don't mean in the sense that somebody died. I just mean the experiences that we went through to get it to the way it is now for both floors. But yeah, leave a comment below if you want to see a tour, because I can quite happily do that. I'm thinking about doing that. Anyway, so back to the whole point about spring and trends and what I think is going to be coming forward for spring and summer. One of the other things you're going to see is ruffles. I think you're going to see a return to much more boho, not much, but you are going to see more boho leaning silhouettes in the stores. I'm thinking back to the resurgence of Chloe from the past year to year and a half after the new creative took her place at the Chloe house. You started to see a return to Chloe. And Chloe for me has always been that forever boho 70s leaning kind of girl, which is very much my thinking. And I love the 70s style anyway. I just think it's such a cool, nostalgic, epic fashion moment that you see distilled and used right up to the current time. And Chloe is the poster girl, in my opinion, in terms of brands for that. I personally am seeing that you're going to see more of that. I'm thinking about examples like this. This is, and you can get any price point for ruffled items, and it has to be your style. You know, everything I'm saying in this video, by the way, take it for what is your own style. You don't have to blanket, use what I'm saying. You don't have to use any of what I'm saying. I'm just saying whatever appeals to you based on the trends that I think are going to be coming through for spring, summer. So with the ruffles, I love this particular dress, which I've had for ages, which is a good example that to me truffles stand the test of time. Ruffles. This is an old dress I have from Zara. I just bought it because it's one of my favorite colors. It's a bright green, but it's such a vibrant, like, what do you describe it? Almost like a lime sort of citrus bright green, right? It's absolutely beautiful, V front and back. I love that this is on one arm only, ruffled front, and then asymmetric ruffle diagonal line going down on the back hem area. It's a stunning dress, very romantic, very Carrie Sex in the City, right? Almost reminds me of the dress that Big when Carrie got pushed into the lake in Central Park. It's that kind of vibe with a pair of open toe kitten-heeled mules on. This is a little Fendi bag on her shoulder. So ruffles to me are one of those things. And you could easily find ruffles. I remember I have a top that I got from H&M and it was very much actually inspired by Chloe. And that is one of those pieces that I love to wear. I've worn it before on my channel. I think I wore it with like brown suede trousers, vintage with a whip stitch down there. Anyway, ruffles. Another one is pastels. Pastels, I don't think is a groundbreaking color for spring and summer, but I think you're going to see a much more interesting color combinations of how pastels can be worn. I'll put a couple of examples on the screen to transition from end of winter into warmer weather. One of my favorite ways to inject pastels into my wardrobe, or pastels, why am I saying pastels, is was wearing, as you already know, you know me, I don't really change too much in this sense, which is to pick up some oversized men's shirts. These are just some vintage ones that I pick up. They stand the test of time. They wash really well. To me, they just soften really nicely after you've given them a few washes as well. This is a baby blue one. I have a baby pink one. I have a lilac one. I have a lemon yellow one. And I wear and rotate them all. I wear them on vacation. I wear them in New York. I could just easily wear them, with just a pair of like beat up Levi's, just as a little cover up on the beach with your bikini underneath, just knotted with a maxi skirt or a mini skirt. worn open as a jacket. These are, to me, so easy to wear. You always see me wearing these, like in my Instagram stories, because I chill out at home wearing them. So for me, it's like a nice masculine, effeminate take on wearing pastels during the summer, spring. Another one I want to talk to you about is sunglasses. I think we're going to see a return to just much more classic. And I know I've mentioned this before in the previous predictions, maybe not on here, but on TikTok. I think we're going to see less of the Loewe puffy style glasses and any kind of like really overtly loud glasses, unless of course it's such a style rocket. I'm just talking in general. I think we're going to see a general shift towards wearing much more kind of, my favorite word, nondescript, just very simpler shapes, the classic aviators, the classic, if not round, classic square, classic, just very classic glasses. And that's the key word. I can see more of that because I think it's going to be in keeping with going with the rest of your wardrobe. Bags, you're going to see, because you're seeing overall the talk about the luxury market, or what's happening with the luxury market at the moment, and also with just the general interest, I think, on seeing luxury price point bags as well. I think you're going to see more and more of that coming through for the next season or this current season. These are just two examples I have with me, completely different bags, slightly different price points as well, but they illustrate the point. You don't have to have the logos anymore, and you're seeing that anyway from all of 2024. That's going to continue into this year. This is a good example of this, and it's specifically very spring-summer styled, which is the Dragon Diffusion bag, which a lot of you are very familiar with this bag already. I have this in a couple of colors. I have in a coffee bean, really dark brown, and this really beautiful whiskey toffee colored brown color. Super well made bags, just it's all leather throughout, just woven everywhere, really well made. This is the kind of bag that is going to age absolutely beautifully. So I wanted to show you, this is just a good example about what I'm seeing. I've already seen it on the streets of New York. There's a lot of New York girlies who wear this particular bag, and I can understand why, because it's just so easy, it's effortless. I even saw them wearing it during the winter. They wear like a coat and they would wear this bag. But especially into spring, you're going to see more people when they're wearing the jackets and outerwear, to be lighter bags. They're going to be reaching for the Dragon Diffusions, because at least in New York, where I am, I have noticed a return to wearing, like I said, more nondescript, mid-point in terms of pricing bags. I think these hover around the 500 mark, give or take. It's not thousands for it, but it's just well made, lesser known designers. This one is from Oscar de la Renta, and I think this is just a good example of a trend that you're seeing going forward into this 2025 as well for spring summer, which is having that same kind of bowling bag, which I think was made pretty well famous, I want to say, from the Row Margot bag. It's that kind of very simple tote, two handles, just really well made leather, good quality leather. And that's the point of these bags. I mean, this one has Oscar de la Renta very discreetly gold stamped right here. But apart from that, it's nowhere else. And from afar, you would have no idea who this bag was. There's not many leather bags that you see that are made this thick. Very strong magnetic clasp. Just beautifully made. This was my carry-on bag. I traveled to St. Lucia with this bag, and I will when I go back to New York. Just sits very nicely on my carry-on luggage, and it just feels like a great bag to hold. It's just a good, easy size. I love even, just holding them just like this. It's a soft enough leather as well. It's just a really easy bag, and I think these kind of quality, nondescript, like I like to call them, bags, mid-luxury price points, you're going to see a lot more of them, not only through spring, summer, but I think into the next season as well. A lot more. This market to me is just going to increase and just keep growing and growing and growing. And with shoes, I think that last year and the year before that, so 2023 into 2024, it was the year of probably the Ballet flat. I think it really, honestly, was Miu. I think Miu Miu was the original one who is responsible for kind of turning the Ballet flat outside of Chanel into the everyday flat to walk around in, and everyone has come up with their own version. I'm not saying that you're not going to see any more for this year, but I think they're always going to look a little bit different. There's not going to be the usual ballet flats like we've seen from years ago, and I think even more so than the Ballet flat. I mean, these ones are mine from Gucci, and they just have a slight difference in that they're kind of like a Mary Jane with the strap here. I love that kind of squared off bottom, which is very much in keeping of how the, original real ballet flats are, which is for the ballet shoes are for ballerinas, which is to to stand on their toes. I love that they have that little squared off front there. And it's not that I'm not going to see more of these type of shoes. I think the ballet flat is still going to be going strong for this season. But I think we're also going to be seeing a lot more of the loafer as well. I think flats in general are just going to be worn a lot more than, say, the sneaker. I think the time of wearing sneakers with everything, I'm not saying it's not going to be there, but I personally have a feeling that we're not going to see them as heavily as before. I don't recall seeing them from the last year's runway. I'm not talking about this season runway, the one that's just finished for Fashion Week. I'm talking about September of last year, because September is a reflection of what is coming for right now. It's always 6 months in advance. And I don't recall seeing a heavy use of sneakers with everything. I thought it was more about flats of different styles, different takes, shapes, different fabrics, loafers as well. That's another one. Loafers, I think, was really coming in strong towards the tail end of last year, really from fall of 2024 into the end of last year. We're going to see more and more of loafers being incorporated into people's wardrobes. Not just going to be, we got a GH Bass, which is like the classic, I love a good GH Bass. I got a pair from Hermes last week. You already saw the ones I showed you, the ones with the two-tone with the white on the front. Those are still a very classic style in my opinion. And I know with the cinched style, this is not them, but the loafers that have the cinching around the ruching. I'll show you on the screen here. YSL has done them. I have a pair in those, but also the Row has done them. And a lot of other shoe designers have done that look. And I love it. It feels very casual, soft and comfortable. You are going to see more and more of those, but I think you're going to see also different style loafers. So perforations on loafers, striped loafers, just loafers in fabrics that you wouldn't expect to see them in. So you're going to see loafers 2.0. You're going to see them done in different iterations into spring, summer, because I find with fashion, once they see something does well, they just reproduce it, but they make them in different ways. They recut them, they recolor them, and they just come up with different fabric choices with them. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that for this year. But that is kind of it. I didn't want to go too deep into spring, summer trends because one, I need to get my ass out of here because I'm doing a lot whilst I'm in St. Lucia. And I'm going to leave links and everything as usual, as I do in the description box. But one of the reasons, sorry, my phone is still blinking, that I'm in St. Lucia so much is because of family. And I really wasn't going to, I'm and ahhing whether to say this and talk to you about this. And I don't think I'm going to talk too much about it because I don't want to talk about something I feel is personal for me and regret putting on the internet. But I'm dealing with family who are getting older, and it's a very, thank goodness I have Michael. It's not easy, and I'm trying to be here as often as I can. Let's put it that way. And it's really, it's something you kind of know is coming, but when you're young, you don't really think about it. And then when it's presented to you, it's something that you have to think about. And it's really, really, I lean on close friends. We talk about it together. And it's really, I don't know what to say. I won't go too much into it, but it's just something that is, I'm going through it. I have to deal with it. And I'm just enjoying as much time as I can with family, as much as I can whilst I'm here. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. I feel like these are subjects that no one really talks about. People who are like content creators like me, you don't really hear any of us mention these type of things, even those who could. I have talked to some pretty big influencers who are going through this. They don't talk about it online. And I can understand why. But So I'm not going to talk about it too much too, because to be honest with you, this is private. This is personal. It's nothing to do with why you are even watching my channel. I just wanted to let you know why I'm coming to St. Lucia as often as I do, because I was last year in January and it's March. Yes, we have friends who are coming and they could really only come in March. It just really worked out as well. But that, honestly, if they weren't going to be here, I probably would have come as well. Anyway, but I'm going to stop now. Yeah, let me know if you lot are going through, or who is going through this, and how you handle it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I'm going to go. I'm going to love you and leave you. Michael is waiting to come in right now. We have workers who are coming in.